Well, good afternoon and welcome along to a sun-kissed Millbrae ahead of the final match of this weekend's FOSROC Sprint series of fixtures, and we're in for a mouth-watering contest with Ayrshire Bulls hosting Heriot, two sides that have eyes very much on the top of the table and trying to close down Watsonians who are sitting at the top as things stand at the moment. But a perfect afternoon for a game of part-time professional rugby, and this level has been blessed this season with some excellent performances and wins for both these sides. They're two teams that are on a rich vein of form at the moment. But let's take a quick look before we look ahead to the game today at some of the matches that have been played earlier this weekend. Watsonians continuing to march purposefully away at the top of the table with a 32-29 win over near neighbours Boroughmuir, and earlier on this afternoon Bruce Miller was up at Stirling watching the Wolves defeat the Southern Knights by 36 points to 11. It means that the Knights are still at the foot of the table. But there's our fixture, the final instalment this weekend. I'm delighted to say that alongside me in our commentary platform rather than a booth this afternoon, and we're both sunning ourselves and enjoying the sunshine, Heather Lockhart. Lovely to see you, Heather.
Yeah, great to be here. It really is a super afternoon, so looking forward to this match.
Yeah, and a part of the country that we both know particularly well, you more so than I do, and you mentioned just before we started our build up there that the pitch is in excellent condition. It can sometimes be a bit muddy and glary here at Millbrae, but all credit to the ground staff. Part looks great today.
Oh yeah, it looks absolutely wonderful. Down at the beach earlier and the East Coast Har was down, but it's lifted now and it's a beautiful evening here in the West Coast and Ayr, and the flag bearers are out ready to receive the teams.
And two strong 23s coming onto the park, and we're going to play the part over the next 80 minutes with Ayrshire Bulls, of course, enjoying success in 2021, losing the final to Watsonians in 2022, and a model of consistency both at the tail end of the amateur club season before the introduction of Super 6 and all the way through Super 6. They've certainly been able to lay down a marker. There is the table just now, and you see them sitting in third place at the moment.
Ayrshire Bulls, certainly Pat MacArthur, head coach, was talking about discipline and defence. Ayrshire Bulls have got the best defensive record, the only team that have conceded less than 100. It's only 78 points conceded. Every other team has conceded more than 100, so that's something they'll be setting their stall out to do today. And
you can see the importance of a win for either side when they're sitting in mid-table in a group of six teams. Southern Knights beginning to really become cut adrift from the other teams. That was an important result for Boroughmuir Bears to get something in the Edinburgh Derby to take them on to 7 points, but it's really anyone's from Heriot's up to Watsonians at this stage.
Yeah, just watching both teams warm up there. Heriot's really putting a lot into that warm up, a lot of contact in the warm up as well, just being really ready to go. They know it's such a difficult place to come to here at Millbrae with the home support. Bulls haven't been at home for the last month, so they'll be raring to go.
Look at the Heriot side, a settled team. It's going to be an important afternoon for Grant Baird and for the experienced Fraser Climo to direct operations in that midfield, and Dan King as well. But Cammy Fenton at 2, Chris Keane in that front row along with Struan Cessford. These are powerful figures that can lead the line in front of the scrum, and they've got a lot of quality in behind them.
Absolutely, Cammy Fenton, ex-Edinburgh player, bringing his wealth of experience, and Struan Cessford also in his 30s now, but again at tight head, providing a solid rock there.
Yeah, just taking a look at the side. Of course, we mentioned Fraser Climo and Grant Baird. Of course, they'll come up in the Ayrshire Bulls graphic that we'll have. There we are now. Now, Fraser Climo is wearing no number this afternoon, but Grant Baird and Fraser Climo we mentioned, in terms of the architects of a lot of creativity in an Ayrshire Bulls side that is known for its power and its quality going forward.
Yeah, very much so. 7 tries last time, the most the Bulls have scored, and I don't think it's any coincidence that Climo was orchestrating that. So knee strapped today, but he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, and also worth pointing out that Enrico Pierretto is on the bench this afternoon, 28 years old now, and he's had a rotten time the last 9 months or so. We were talking again in the build-up the significance of his return today.
Yeah, just wonderful to see. Not played since they got injured for the Argentina 15, the second string, last July. It was a shoulder injury, and then he re-injured himself, a chest injury in November. So this is his first match back. So fantastic to see him come off the bench today.
And he's well supported here because there's a contingent of Argentines here to cheer him on this afternoon when he no doubt will come onto the park. And it's Bastian Cancellieri, one of the Glasgow Warriors players that is sitting quite near us just now. So yeah, just confirmation, Climo and Baird, the half-backs for Ayrshire Bulls. Climo with no number on his back. He'll look to get this match underway with Heriot starting, of course, with Bruce Houston and Cam Jones. And these will be the creative partnerships as the half-backs for both these sides this afternoon. David Sutherland, the man in the middle, will get this match underway in the sunshine, and it's Dan King who kicks off, and that is played down towards the edge of the 22, gathered and taken on through the hands as Heriot's looking to try and make some ground. Ball spilled just on the edge of the 22, but advantage played by the referee, comes back to Heriot's hands courtesy of the knock-on. It's a platform, an attacking one for Ayrshire Bulls right on the edge of the 22, and a perfect start for them.
Absolutely, this is exactly where they want to be, building and taking this first scrum. Captain there, Blair McPherson, just ready boys, ready for first scrum.
So scrumming down, we mentioned of course those in the front row, Nimmo, Stuart and Calvin Henderson for Ayrshire Bulls, Chris Keane, Cammy Fenton and Stuart Sessford for Heriot. Going to bind and set, and it's going to be a feed into the scrum then. Bulls led by Grant Baird into the scrum. It's steady at the base. McPherson looking to use his feet, works it through to inside centre, taken on there by Kerr Yule into the 22, recycled again by Baird. Crash ball played by Ryan Sweeney. Look to recycle again through the scrum half. Baird playing the advantage ball there. Chris Keane penalised for not rolling away. It's recycled again, and Fraser Climo, little intricate play there, bringing the winger off that right hand side there. Look at Bardelli coming in to support the midfield, but the referee had signalled the advantage a little bit earlier on. So good territorial opportunity this, Heather, for Ayrshire Bulls in the opening stages, perhaps to get the upper hand.
Yeah, very much so.
Well,
could well go to the corner, but we'll just see.
Ball, please, lads.
Just watching on as they're going to ping it into the corner. Just a little bit of a breeze on our platform, beginning to swirl around Albury. Left-footed kick towards the corner, so it presents the first line out opportunity. We've had a scrum in the early stages, this a line out, and across now comes Grant Stewart. He mentioned the quality of Stewart in that front row for the Bulls.
Yeah, outstanding. 5 tries, scored in every match so far.
Driving ball situation opening up perhaps, but on this occasion Heriot's got solid hands on the ball just at the front of the line. Stewart makes his way back into a sort of defensive cover position as Heriot's look to deliver the box kick, and Bardelli is just underneath that one as the up and under was played by Cam Jones. Back it comes again, picked up now by McPherson, looks to try and straighten up, goes into the tackle. Ewan McVie with the tackle, Heriot's locked forward, and the penalty this time awarded to the visitors. Cammy Fenton getting back to his feet, happy with the defensive effort of his side.
Very much so. Great play there by Cammy Fenton at hooker there, getting low over the ball and winning a penalty for his side.
Chance then for Heriots to get play into Ayr territory in these opening exchanges. Clear blue sky, that just clearing the wall, and will end up in the fringes of the car park to the Burns Museum that sits just behind where we are here at Alloway, looking across to that main stand. Fenton makes his way across. We'll have taken a quick instruction, I'm sure, from Chris Keane with his head.
Wait till the arms are down, both sides.
Throw in then from Fenton, one in the middle of the line, well taken. Fenton looks to join in, swinging round, trying to keep his feet there. Ronan Sadak, 40th appearance in the competition for Sadak of Heriots. The number 8's over the ball at the moment as well, Leishman, but it's going to be recycled eventually by Cam Jones. He's able to find Chris Keane up towards that 10. Jones goes in again, Measured pass, just bypassing two players, ball carried just on that edge of that 10. And once more the scrum half goes in, but this time just closing off nicely the Ayrshire Bulls as a rather weary looking Roden Sadek accepting that that attack from a Heriot's point of view was going no further. Quick words with the referee and the Ayrshire Bulls skipper, and Ayrshire Bulls will look to use the skills then of their fly half to play this back into Heriot's territory.
Super kick. Great line out though by Heriot. Charlie Jupp was in Team of the Week last week, looking good. We played 4 last time, at 6 today, but definitely an advantage at the line out for Heriot.
Taken down towards that 22. Over this time comes Grant Stuart, so a little bit deeper position, attacking position than his previous line out. But he'll certainly be up for any opportunity to add to his try tally so far this season. Again, the ball is won towards the middle of the line. You can see Stuart going in just to try and girdle the ball with the hands, work it back perhaps to the scrum half, which they do now, taken on by the inside centre Yule, again just on the fringes of that 22. Recycle ball, Climo again, stops, checks, is able to accelerate away, Climo going towards the line, and Climo's done enough to go over for a score, and Ayrshire Bulls showing a pace, a trick up the sleeve from the line out. Climo backing himself and showing some acceleration from a standing start to escape the attentions of that Heriot's defence.
Yeah, it was superb. Turn of pace.
The jumper's coming across.
Great line out, and Kerr Yule doing well at 12 there just to set that up.
I'll certainly keep an eye.
He felt it was maybe just that little bit too deep in the 22. It was right on the edge of the 22, so there was no immediate and obvious opportunity for Stuart to get the ball. He joined in the drive, but it bypassed him and went immediately to the scrum half, Grant Baird, and Baird was in a good position to get that move going.
Yeah, it was almost like Climo. Great kick there by Cavan as well.
Yeah, Ellie Cavan with the conversion, but excellent start then for the Bulls.
Again, mate.
Yeah, Climo just delayed that slightly just to fix that Heriot's defence, just to allow that gap to open up.
We'll get to see that try again just as Heriot's look to restart the match with Bruce Houston kicking off. But we'll certainly show the highlights at the end of the first half, and we'll maybe get the opportunity again to have a look at that try scored in the opening 6 minutes by Fraser Climo. Penalty awarded to Ayrshire Bulls. 7 minutes on the clock. Here is the try then, so that by this stage Climo was off and running and just wasn't going to be stopped there. I think backtracking very quickly was Mikey Gray, but there was no opportunity for Gray to get a full wrap-round tackle on the accelerating Climo, and he was over for the score.
Yeah, Team of the Week the last time out, and doing his bit today.
Wind beginning to just test the pages of paper that we have on our table. Our notes are beginning to move around just a little bit, otherwise it's a perfect spring evening. Watching now as the lineup's going to be thrown in across on the far side, just in front as you see of the main stand. Bit of movement there in that line, and Rory Jackson doing well to secure ball. Coming onto it very quickly there was Keir Yule, but it's been belted downfield. After it there is Bardelli. Bardelli does very well with the pick and go. Who's in space now over the 10. Little bit of football played, and it's a back row forward that accelerates past him to try and just trap the ball as it ends up in touch across there. That was quick acceleration by Charlie Jupp across on that far side, and Jupp looks an exhausted figure across there, but he was not going to give up on that, Bardelli. I have to say that was a piece of opportunism to open up a try scoring chance down that left hand side. The galloping Jupp was not in the end able to close him down. There was enough space in the corner to allow the winger to get in for the score, and it adds an extra 5 points for an Ayrshire Bulls side that are looking lethal now in possession of the ball in the Heriot's half of the field.
Yeah, Bardelli really one to watch. Not played any representative rugby or any performance system, but he's really taking his opportunity. Played at Jiha and has come through the minis there and is on 3 tries, and that's his 4th Super Series try. So well done, Luca. Excellent play.
And you have to say that the line of the run from Charlie Jopp, he was accelerating into that 22 and he was almost just trying to keep the winger behind him, but somehow Bardelli managed to get round the blindside flanker and in for a second try. The conversion attempt from out wide is an absolute beauty, and what a start for the Ayrshire Bulls. They're sensing that this is an opportunity for them to get to the top of the tree after this round of fixtures, and another excellent piece of kicking from the tee from Ellie Cavan there across on the far side.
Yeah, 2 conversions last round as well, so well done.
Ball spinning just in the breeze there, well beyond that 10-metre line, and Heriot, well, certainly he's stung having conceded those 2 converted tries in the early stages of the contest. 10 minutes gone. We haven't seen so much of Houston and Jones, the half-backs for Heriot, inside the air half of the field. High up and under there, and that was a challenging one there for Dan King. King just gingerly getting back to his feet there, and he seems okay. One of the Ayrshire Bulls players also down, but gets back to his feet as well.
Okay, it's come forward from blue.
Heriot having knocked the ball forward in that aerial challenge, presenting Ayrshire Bulls with this attacking opportunity. And I think perhaps there Ed Bloodworth just picking up a little knock as Merrick was briefly on the field to see how the lock forward was, but it will resume with a Grant Baird put in at this Ayrshire Bulls scrum. 10 minutes played and 14-0 to Ayrshire Bulls.
Really good. Okay.
Really excellent start for the Ayrshire Bulls. Heriot's we wanting to get possession and a bit more territory.
He's looking to try and settle into this game. As we mentioned, David Sutherland, the match referee, supporting him today, Kieran Stark and Ross Maben. And the ball into that scrum. Grant Baird works his way around just towards the back. McPherson Studs controlling the ball just with that right foot. Taken up towards the edge of the 10-metre line. Penalty awarded to Ayrshire Bulls just on that 10. Close towards the touchline, across on that far side. And sizeable support inside Millbrae. Many of them, of course, coming from local areas to support the Bulls this afternoon and enjoying the start that they've made.
Absolute clinical set piece there from the Ayrshire Bulls. They'll be absolutely thrilled with that. Front row, second row, back row, all 8. And Climo with this fantastic boot, giving them a good field position again.
5's good, lads, 5's good.
Throw in then for the Ayrshire Bulls side. Gathered there by Rory Jackson in the line. Another penalty advantage coming the way of Ayrshire Bulls. Stuart ends up just on his backside, so no obvious advantage there for Ayrshire Bulls. And back go the Heriot's players. A chance now for Climo to pick this one into the corner. And if the Heriot's task was difficult at the start of the game, it's made that bit harder. But we did say, as the Ayrshire Bulls players were coming out onto the park, they've got a lot of physical strength, they're known for their power up front, but they have a creative side about them as well, and that's been perfectly illustrated in the opening exchanges. Yeah,
it's a perfect combination, and it seems to be clicking in the Ayrshire sun today.
Taken on there, hands up for it. Ayrshire Bulls using Bloodworth again as the player marked to try and gather the ball in the line. But it's back with their scrum half, Grant Baird. Bulls again looking to make some inroads inside that 22. Forced backwards eventually. Bloodworth makes himself available to carry, but it bypasses him on towards Juligan inside centre, cutting a fine line there. Supporting up was Calvin Henderson, the tight head prop, who's on the deck at the moment. Stuart just in behind. Loose head. Andrew Nimmo scrapping away. And it's been turned over, and Heriots are able to clear it from practically their own goal line. A bit of spin on that, not coming flush off the foot there, a rather arced kick, so it'll be another throw in. And I have to say, Heather, is this Grant Stewart territory?
Yeah, I think so, but Congratulations, actually, I've just to mention Henderson's offload there at tight head. Really good offload there to Yule there, just sort of spilling there, but yeah, excellent.
Watching on now as Grant Stuart readies himself to throw in. Again, bit of movement using Bloodworth in the middle of the line. Stuart joins in the drive now. Now he remains inside that 22, a little bit deeper, ball tucked under his right arm. He's able to just a glance up at what is in front of him, how much closer he's getting first of all to the 5 metre line. Reinforcements coming in. Baird sits patiently waiting, has it now, stops, checks, tries to straighten up, runs into navy blue and white hoop jerseys there as they get back to their feet. One of them is Charlie Jupp, gets himself back as defensive cover. Baird has it again, looking for the forwards just to his left hand side. Baird once more, taken on this time by Rory Jackson. Lock forward, getting closer towards the line. This now a more of a forwards dominated attack just at the moment, but here's Climo, floats a pass on towards outside centre. Jamie Shedden, and they're across the line in that left hand corner once more. The forwards doing a lot of the go forward work, and as they were creeping ever closer towards that 5 metre line, they recycled through the halfbacks very quickly out towards the left hand side, and they're over, and they find joy again down their left, over for a further score.
Jamie Shedden at 13, a real talent, 4 tries already, and then just adding to his tally today, scored 2 in round 1 and 1 in round 3 and round 4 and 1 to date today.
So Jamie Shedden adding 2 tries so far this afternoon from Luca Bardelli and also Fraser Climo, and there's been quite the variety. If you're just joining us, if you've missed the opening exchanges of the contest, there will be highlights at the interval. But this man, Ellie Cavan, has slotted over 2 excellent conversions so far. Ball on the tee. Can he make it 3 from 3? Plenty of height on the ball. Angle doesn't look too bad from here. Oh, it's another excellent piece of kicking from the tee from Ellie Cavan. Back he goes. He'll feel very confident right now when he's presented with opportunities like that one.
Absolutely superb kicking. I saw him practicing in the warm-up. He really has got his rhythm going just now. Played for the Warriors in February, and yeah, real talent.
Yeah, he's one that certainly Franco Smith will be mindful of his skills, as Franco Smith has certainly used the full complement of players in his squad. I think 49 separate players have been used over the course of the season in domestic and European competition. And Climo looking to exit, spinning kick, which bounces off the roof of the stand across on the far side, and suddenly Heriots find themselves inside the Ayrshire Bulls 22, and it's unfamiliar territory just at the moment for the Bulls.
What's that?
To be back.
For me it was alright.
Yeah, Heriots will be relishing this opportunity.
Chance then for Heriots just to try and get a foothold in the contest. At number 8 this afternoon, they've got releasement. Is useful in the line out. Sets up an opportunity for the forwards then to bring the backs into play, overreaching that almost Aidan Boyle. He had to stretch out the arms almost like Inspector Gadget to latch onto that ball in front of him there, knocking on, and presents here with an opportunity on the edge of their 22 to try and clear.
That sometimes happens when you haven't had the ball for a bit, and then just when you do, yeah, just a wee bit of miscommunication there, mistiming.
Right, good contest. Lads, there's the mark. Just take, both of you take the space you need. Slam here.
Yes, sir. Now go at it.
Those then waiting patiently to get this set piece up and running. Again, Grant Baird readies himself, alongside him Cam Jones. Baird feeds the ball in. Again McPherson begins to adjust his position to allow Baird now to recycle on this time towards Cavan, pings it forward, gives chase, 3 back inside the Heriots half. One of them is this man, Dan King. King pings it forward. Underneath it though is Baird. Baird on just across on that left hand side, and taken on this time by Thomas Glendinning. Glendinning's certainly been a good supportive figure, but want maybe a little bit more opportunity to be on ball. This time it's Jackson making some ground beyond that 10-metre line. Recycled again. Climo has it now, runs into Cam Jones on that 10. McPherson just involved in the clean out. A shrill blast of the referee's whistle. Penalty awarded to the Ayrshire Bulls, and that opportunity there for Heriot, taking them down to the fringes of the 22 but no further, as their hooker Cammy Fenton just receiving a little bit of treatment down the one day at the moment.
Go the line out, stop for it.
Top left hand of your screen will show you almost 20 minutes of the match played. 21 points to nil. Climo, Bardelli and Shedden with the tries for Ayrshire Bulls, and Bulls are back inside Heriot's territory.
Plus the needless penalties.
That's tough for Heriot. It's just one error there just after the line out, and then a penalty, and then it's marched up, and then they're back again. So tough, but another opportunity here for Ayrshire Bulls.
You could sense the urgency of getting the ball through the hands, trying to get the midfield in, and the passes just seemed to be just a little bit in front of Aidan Boyle. I think if he was fully on his toes, he would have struggled to get that one. That's a bit of an overthrow there, and it's eventually picked up there at the back of the line, and Kerry was sharp onto that. So Ayrshire Bulls have it. Climo delivering a long pass out there towards his fullback, taking on well with Cavan, and had support on the right wing in the form of Bardelli, but it comes back. So Climo was well aware that the advantage was there, providing him with a chance to loop a longer pass than he perhaps would normally have done. Bardelli wrapped in the tackle. Ewan McVie is gripping him pretty tightly at the moment, and they eventually release. Heriot are very quickly back on the defensive, having had so little opportunity to have a sustained spell of possession of the ball.
Superb tackle there by number 11 Mikey Gray. That set up, put the pressure on, and then turnover maul. Number 3 Stuart Sethford right in the middle of that. So well played.
Feedback I'm getting last one. Good initial contest, and both you've lost your height. Work hard to keep that height.
This platform then between the 10 and 22. You'll gauge from the picture there how close we are towards that left touchline. Just waiting patiently to feed this ball in. Cam Jones.
Crouch!
Grant Baird just alongside him.
Bind! Set!
There's the call from the referee, Mr. Sutherland, this afternoon. Into the scrum it goes then. And watching on the penalty awarded this time at the scrum for Heriot. Now here is a platform for them again to ping this one down into Bulls territory. Bulls have given away a couple of penalties in this first quarter, 22 minutes, so just past the midway point in this first half. But otherwise they've looked pretty comfortable. But Heriot can't ill afford to let opportunities like this go by when they're trailing by 21 points to nil, and they want and need a foothold into the game.
Yeah, penalty there against Loosehead. Andrew Nimmo not quite agreeing with that decision, but that was the decision, and pressure here and an opportunity here for Fenton at line out.
And you can see, I think you referred to the strapping just on that right leg. You can see just underneath the shorts there, and walking across, throws in towards the back of the line. It's eventually palmed down. The scrum half is able to gather. Cam Jones spins it out then towards outside centre. Grant Hughes then out towards the right hand side. Away goes Ben Evans. Evans then into the 22, hooked on, and Dan King was able to gather just above head height. Recycled then by the scrum half onto Cam Fenton. Jones linking up well with the hooker. Jones again on this time towards Chris Keane on the edge of the 22, bundled backwards, and this time Heriot's knocking on maybe a fraction closer than they were the last time they knocked on the edge of that 22 across on the right hand side. Ayrshire Bulls almost forcing them into these handling errors. Maybe a little bit of rush play from Heriot, such as their urgency to try and get something on the board, trailing by 21 points to nil, but a little bit more promising with a bit of acceleration and pace shown down that right hand side.
Definitely, I think that was their best attacking passage. The line out didn't go completely to hand, but it was gathered. Cam Jones and then 13 Grant Hughes, a lovely left to right pass, setting up that right hand side attack, but just coming back in and just being knocked on. And I think a well earned breather there for both sides. It is hard work out there.
It's hard work and it is warm. We're able to enjoy this spring sunshine this afternoon. A few sort of cotton wool clouds above us, but a lot of clear blue sky, so it will be warm out on the park for these players. Heriot's, of course, coming into this game, they started off with a 36-19 defeat to Edinburgh, but then were able to defeat the Southern Knights 36-22. They had that 33-all draw with Watsonians before defeating the Boroughmuir Bears by 28 points to 18, and just Boroughmuir Bears inflicting a defeat on the Ayrshire Bulls 29-21. Otherwise it's wins over the Glasgow Warriors, Stirling and the Southern Knights for the Bulls as well. Of course the Glasgow and Edinburgh sides have since exited the competition after 3 rounds, and it goes back to a league table of 6, and watch on as Ayrshire Bulls then on the edge of the 22 once more inside their own half, looking now Grant Baird patiently with that offload again, looking for options inside centre there. Kerr Yule takes it beyond the 22 in contact. Shedden back to his feet and back into position. Yule just trying to nudge players out the way. You can see that on the Sadek back to his feet is pinged forward left footed again by the trusted foot of Fraser Climo. Not quite a touch finder this time. Solid challenge there by Shedden, third of the Ayrshire Bulls try scorers in this first half. Still on the edge of the halfway line. Recycled ball and again taken on this time by Ronan Sadek, along with Josh Scott making the 40th appearance in this competition for Heriot this afternoon. They're looking to try and spread the ball out towards this left hand side now. Into traffic to go. Mikey Gray does well to continue on. Bit of football played infield there, and Climo took his eyes off it perhaps ever so slightly as Jones played some football on. Now is that an opportunity for Heriot to get the score? They have indeed. There were 2 players grappling for the ball as it was prodded forward there. Heriot, you felt they perhaps needed a mistake or an opportunist score to get themselves into the contest in some fashion. 21 points to 5. Yeah. But how about that, Heather, for a response?
Absolutely wonderful. Mikey Gray doing the hard yards in defence, but in attack there, just looking really assured, and just some great footballing skills, and a fantastic finish there.
Aidan Boyle chasing that kick, no lost cause in his mind, and Boyle, the inside centre, just did enough to adjust his body. The dive was perfect. The referee satisfied it was a clean touch now, and it's 5 points on the board for Heriot's 4 first half tries. And a chance then for Bruce Houston to add the extras from the tee. 3 from 3 for Ayrshire Bulls. This then Houston's first kick at goal, and that looks good. The assistants will raise the flags, which they do. 21 points to 7. And for any neutrals inside, Heather, the game certainly needed that, and any neutrals at home watching on, they needed a response from the Edinburgh side.
Very much so, and just see a couple of smiles on the Heriot players' faces. Ian Wilson there was in the huddle, right in the middle, captain, been at Heriot for 8 years and very much a formidable leader, and will be urging them on.
Yeah, of course, many of these players will know each other well after years of playing at the amateur level before the introduction and formation of the FOSROC competition a few years ago. That was interrupted, of course, because of COVID, but they've had a few years now to get used to this new tournament format and the part-time professional level, but many of them having played in domestic league championship deciders and cup finals. Very well decorated players for either side.
Good there, thank you.
Ian Wilson, 6 tries as captain this campaign, pretty impressive.
Wilson will want to try and spearhead a bit of a comeback, but watching on there as Ed Bloodworth wins the ball in the line, and again Ayrshire Bulls got some forward momentum. You can see the figure of number 8 there, McPherson, right in the very thick of that, Heriot's then trying to slow up the power of these Ayrshire Bulls players. Also Bloodworth carrying it forward.
Side entry. Penalty advantage.
Referee now
Side entry.
has penalised the Heriot's scrum half there. You'd hear Cam Jones for going in at the side. Another blast of the whistle just to confirm the penalty conceded by Heriot. And the last thing they'll want to do now is be camped inside their own 22 and at risk of conceding further points, having found a way through this Ayrshire Bulls side.
Yeah, very much so. Ed Bloodworth at number 4 there has other ideas and is keen to keep the momentum up and pressure for the Ayrshire Bulls after conceding that try.
Pinged into the corner by Climo.
5.
Throw in then for the Ayrshire Bulls across on that far side, just in front of the fencing by the car park. Another opportunity then for Grant Stuart to throw in. He'll join the back of the drive. Now this is more like Grant Stewart territory, if you can perhaps finish off from this range. He has the ball under control, tucked under that right arm at the moment. Referee just mindful of any of the dark arts coming out to try and favour one side or the other. But again, they look to recycle ball as they're getting closer towards that 5 metre line now. And just applying a little bit of pressure. McPherson goes over, you see the ball is spilled there. The referee signalling an Ayrshire Bulls knock on. We've played half an hour. Ayrshire Bulls leading by 21 points to 7, and the thoughts once again of Heather Lockhart.
Yeah, just really impressed there by Heriot's defence. I think that try has galvanised them, and there's just shooting out the line there, just anything to stop them going over the line, and uncharacteristically Blair McPherson just spilling on the line there, not like him.
Okay, Heriot's okay? We're okay? Okay, forward from 8, scrum, Heriot's ball.
We'll have this opportunity from the set piece to exit with just under 10 minutes of the first half left to play. Saturday evening. No evidence of Eurovision being on the minds of anybody here. Nobody's come in fancy dress. There's one or two people that asked me if that was going to be a theme in Alloway this afternoon, but there's no sign of that just yet. Perhaps best left until later on, if at all. Glorious weather down in Liverpool for the Eurovision Song Contest, as it's a box kick now from the Heriot scrum half there. Cam Jones unable to clear beyond the 22, pulls back a little bit closer towards that 22 metre line for the throw in.
Yeah, Cam Jones, 2 players of the match and 3 team of the week so far. Played for Edinburgh A as well as Heriot, so pretty impressive. Yeah,
that's a model of consistency, and important for players like Jones to take these opportunities to get as much game time as possible. With his career in mind in terms of the direction he would want to take it in, as McPherson takes the ball into contact. Ayrshire Bulls again just looking to adjust. They've got McNamara and Sweeney in that back row as well, but they're looking to the inside centre there. Kerr Yule has been involved in the build-up to a couple of important scores for the Ayrshire Bulls in the first half. Closed down again, and Heriots have been able to turn over ball, and from practically their own post, underneath the post there, Bruce Houston pings one right through the downfield, only as far as Thomas Glendinning. Glendinning tries the palm left hand to fend off Heriots players coming in, recycled though by the scrum half, and Baird was very alert to that to try and play it down that Bulls left hand side again. Once more Baird on towards Grant Stewart. Stewart again tries to make a few metres there, bundled backwards. Climo tries the strip there as Heriots have it. One ball back again, stolen, and on this time towards their fullback Dan King, who ships it out immediately towards the left hand side. Good spin and turn there from Grant Hughes up towards the halfway line. Outside centre goes to deck, through the hands of the tight head prop again on towards Bruce Houston, and the ball dislodged there as it was making its way towards Cam Fenton. Leathered right footed downfield. The Heriots knock on close towards halfway. Such was the tight high line defence, played really adopted now by both sides. And with 6.5 minutes until the interval, time off Time to hear again from Heather. A 21-7 to Ayrshire Bulls.
Yeah, turnovers for both sides there. And if you want to know how to tackle Grant Stuart, superbly low, great technique there for the turnover. But some nice play by Heriot's turnover just in front of the 22, and just that tackle though, the pressure there from the Bulls. Pat MacArthur will be happy with that defence.
You're going slightly off topic just while there's a break in play and a water break for some of these players. For quite some time now, Edinburgh have adopted this, and I first noticed it at Glasgow. The use of a tennis racket, tennis ball for players for the reactions. Now, with your tennis background, I think a singles indoor champion back, was it 93 you picked up the title? Maybe before you picked up a rugby ball you were an exceptional young tennis player. Can you see the advantage of that as a tactic to try and work on the reactions of players when they're in a position having to take a ball on at close quarters when it's coming at speed?
Yeah, it's very much. I think it's been used numerous places, but as I walked in today, Bobby Beattie, he can't play today because he's recovering from a head knock, going through the protocols. He had a tennis racket and they were doing that very thing, so it's really, really useful. Yeah, hand-eye coordination. The Warriors players use it, the Edinburgh players use it. It's used the world over. I'm sure it's an excellent tool.
But just little things like that, I'm sure that maybe these players, when they came in to amateur rugby, as many of them did before they made the step up to part-time professional level, it's these things I suppose they would be introduced to just to try and smooth off some of the rougher edges of the play.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what ball, any ball, you know what I mean, just as many touches in the ball as possible.
Go back to the action then on the park. The referee just breaks up that scrummage. It was an Ayrshire Bulls put in just a fraction inside the Heriots half off the field.
That was the first one. We've not had proper stability on the set.
5.5 minutes
that stability.
of the match left to play. Referee there's obviously been impressed with the scrum stability so far.
Yeah, he's just saying that's the first one, so he just wants to keep it consistent because it has been both sides. Showing good progress in that area.
Here, the figure in red is David Sutherland, our match referee this afternoon.
Crouch! Bind!
Plenty of authority in the voice as he calls the scrum. And it's set and put in now for Grant Baird. Works it round towards the back of the scrum, taken on again by Yule, makes a few metres, brings Climo into play, back once more and taken on this time again. Glendinning up in support on that left hand side. Baird picks up once more on towards McPherson willing to clatter into Ewan McVie there. That lock forward as Climo stops, checks, tries to escape the tensions there of Cammy Fenton, gaining some ground there. Stuart in with a challenge as well as it comes back out towards the hard working Yule across on the left hand side on the angle. His route very quickly closed off though, and it's recycled again. Just palmed rather awkwardly there by Calvin Henderson, but play continues now, and that's a strong piece of powerful running there from Andrew Nimmo. Out it comes now to Cavan. Cavan then, little grubber kick. Cavan will give chase there. The grubber was played, and just in behind him was Lewis McNamara. McNamara started to drift left just at the point as Cavan pinged that across on the right hand side there. But a high challenge coming in. I think was it Ellie Cavan that may well have been penalised there for the high challenge, but a chance for Heriot. It's inside the 22 then to clear from the 22 with 4 minutes just under left of this first half. That ball sails over a little platform, and Heather has further thoughts before the interval, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm just really liking that combination of Climo at 10 and Kerr Yule at 12. He's 17 and he really is putting in a shift today. Heriots, I think, are targeting him, but he's really moving about the place really well. And Andrew Nimmo there at loose head just receiving some attention. Great break there. There's a bit of loose ball, but Grant Stewart managed to offload to him, and good work.
Yeah, there's a maturity about his physique, but also about his understanding of the game for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, incredibly. He played every match in the under-20s during the Six Nations with Duncan Munn at centre, so he's been exposed to that high-level experience.
And that bodes well when you're up against this level of opposition in the FOSROC Sprint Series, as Heriots again looking to play the ball. The two centres linking up well there. Boyle and Hughes out towards the right hand side. They've scampered down that right hand channel, just one so far in the first half.
There's a second one in the
closed
ground.
off just beyond the halfway line, just in front of the edge of the steps up towards the main stand. those inside the stand watching on as play will resume just by those steps. 21 points to 7, and just over 2 minutes of the first half left to play.
Yeah, Heriot's back, starting just to get a bit more ball on hand. Mikey Gray there.
Another opportunity here for scrum half Cam Jones. Sternest of tests in this competition. Coming to a ground like Millbrae, the Ayrshire Bulls have certainly something to play for, and on this run of form with 3 wins in 4 matches. They'll reset at the scrum.
So it's a mess
into
from
the
both sides.
final few minutes of this first half, and
it's
certainly promised and delivered, with Heriot's beginning to show a little bit more, certainly since just before the half-hour mark, 20-25 or so minutes into the half, after Ayrshire Bulls were absolutely clinical in the opening 10-15 minutes with 3 excellent tries.
Yeah, I think it's their defence has just managed to get them in, got a couple of turnovers, a bit of pressure, and unsettled the Bulls slightly. And opportunity here.
Cam Jones then squats down into the scrum, works its way back to the feet of Leishman. Jones reaches in, on in towards Houston. Spin pass out, midfield taken on there by Dan King, the fullback. King now looks left and right, little pass on towards the scrum half, and they've split the defence. In they go, Cam Jones. A perfect illustration of what Heriots can do from a set piece on the halfway line. Cutting through the defence there was Dan King, because he was a player that came onto the pass at pace. He continued to accelerate up towards the 22. He was very much mindful of what was round about him, as we see here, Heather, and then he measured the pass out towards the scrum half. And Cam Jones, and you've touched on it so far, about a model of consistency through the tournament and competition. You'll be delighted to score such a try at this stage in the game.
Very much so. George Horn would be very pleased with that. A great scrum half on the shoulder, great support line off Dan King.
So watching on as the conversion is clean, straight and true. 21 points then, and Heriots have 14 on the board. 21-14 the scoreline, with us pretty much hitting the 40-minute mark. So what a time to bring it back to a 7-point game. And again, the attitude of the backs coming on to some good work from the forwards. That was a solid scrum, and running half the length of the field to end by scoring a wonderful try.
Yeah, Dan King said his aim this year, he's a student, second-year student at Edinburgh University, but his rugby aim this year was to play a match in the under-20 international. He's done that, and he is really, and they got a win against Wales at 18-17, and excellent run there, super. So, final stages then of this first 40 minutes. So we'll pick up the tries. If you've missed any of the first half action, we'll have a full reprisal of the action in the first half at the interval, which is imminent. And at the moment it's a 7-point game, so Heriots have certainly done well to work their way back into the contest, showing quite a bit of character and a steely determination. But Bulls, I'm sure, will remain dangerous, and they've certainly been absolutely lethal when presented with opportunities in and around that 22. And they've got a penalty from the scrum on halfway. So perhaps one final chance, one final fling from the Bulls before half time. Of course, a further try for them at this stage, and we get a try bonus. Very much so. I think both scrums there just getting a wee bit, front row's getting a wee bit tired there, just yeah, it's hard work in the sun there, so get a break at half time.
Throw in down on the 22. Bulls had no immediate rush to come across, and just taking their time across. Heriots already in a line, and the Ayrshire Bulls players deliberating tactics, conversation led very much by their hugely experienced number 8 and skipper Blair McPherson. And McPherson stands 3 along in the line. Movement there, Stuart again finding Ayrshire Bulls' hands in that line. It's having gone to the bench in the first half, having brought on Josh Scott for, like one would say, that a 40th appearance for Josh Scott in the competition. And Heriot's looking now just to apply a little bit of pressure themselves if they can get a little further down the park. A hooked kick there from the scrum half finds that's the referee. A glance at the watch says, guys, that's it, that's us through to half time. So Cam Jones' kick to touch will conclude what has been a thoroughly entertaining first 40 minutes in the sunshine at Millbrae. And I'm sure that the spectators, many of them that are lined around the four sections of the ground and some in the main stand, will have enjoyed that 40 minutes, Heather.
Absolutely, superb rugby. Ayrshire Bulls just starting so well. 21 unanswered points, and then suddenly Heriot's, I think it's their defence, just a couple of good spot tackles raised them, and Aidan Boyle's, Mikey Gray's break and Aidan Boyle's finish got them back in, and then Cam Jones finished there off Dan King's fantastic break. It was a great second try for them.
Yeah, they've certainly made it quite a contest, showed a steeliness, a mental strength there to come back, because at 21-0 down so early on, some teams may have completely capitulated, but they were able to hang on in there and score 2 tries through Aidan Boyle and Cam Jones practically on that half-time whistle. Let's take a look then at some of the action from that first 40 minutes. So this the Fraser Climo try. Now Climo here in the scrum half, gathering one thing in mind, straight towards the line. That acceleration, we mentioned that he was certainly tottering along at that stage, but as soon as he got possession of the ball, away he went after Burners on there. A bit of space for him to run into as well, and there was no way that Dan King was going to close him down in time.
Yeah, it just shows the great variety, because I think Heriot's were expecting him to pass, and he just waited and then off he went.
And this a piece of brilliance as well from Luca Bardelli. And again, look at the running here of Charlie Jupe. Now I thought the opportunity had perhaps passed the winger by, but he adjusted his run. The kick was perfectly aimed towards the corner, and he was able to glance in. But I tell you that this Charlie Jupp did show a turn of speed, because it made it a contest between the two players.
No, really good. Bardelli is just, both real absolute prospects, and great finish there, nothing in it. But yeah, Bardelli just managing to get it.
Yeah, we get to see Ayrshire Bulls then just turning on the style again. McPherson, and a little bit of power there shown eventually by Shedden in for the score. A third try for Ayrshire Bulls, and this from close quarters this time, but again Climo instrumental in just providing the pass.
Yeah, 2 pass, and don't forget Baird's pass. I think Baird at scrum half, just nothing fancy, but his service is really good.
Well, Heriot's at this stage were 21-0 down, and again no lost cause here, because it was initially a bit of football played by Cam Jones, and then Aidan Boyle latching on. You see the figure wearing 12, the inside centre, on there and just doing enough to evade Ellie Cavan, the full-back, unable to scoop the ball away from the Heriot's inside centre.
Yeah, crucial try there for Heriot's.
Fine bit of running here as well from Dan King, accelerating onto passes, coming from a scrum close towards the halfway line, worked its way through very quickly towards Dan King. There he goes, beyond that 10-metre line, and you could see he was very aware of what was round about him.
Yeah, I really like the composure. It came from an excellent scrum as well, Dan King, and then just had the composure midfield, just looking, and just gave the easy pass. Well,
if we have a little bit more of the same in this second half, we'll be more than satisfied. There is a reminder of the half-time score, 21 points to 14. Bulls looking to try and go top of the table this evening. Heriot's though in 4th place in the table. A win for them if they were to turn things around would certainly boost their confidence no end at all. So it's very much in the melting pot in Alloway at the interval. Ayrshire Bulls 21, Heriot's 14 at the break. Welcome back for second half commentary of this intriguing fixture at Millbrae between Ayrshire Bulls and Heriot. Bulls taking a very early 21-0 lead. 3 excellent scores, Climo, Bardelli and Shedden all on the score sheet, but Heriot were able to hang on in there and then produce 2 excellent tries of their own towards the tail end of the first half. The second of those coming from the scrum half Cam Jones, practically on the half-time whistle, to give us a scoreline at the interval of 21 points to 14. We'll bring you any news of replacements at the start of this second half. Just looking at early on at some numbers to see if there's any changes in personnel. We did mention during commentary in the first half, just Scott is on, and they came on in the first half for Heriot. On possession of the ball now is the fullback Dan King. King into the 22, lovely little hands there. King, little 1-2, can Cam Jones latch onto the pass there from the winger Ben Evans. Evans again throwing the ball just in front of the scrum half. He was under pressure there, as coming across very quickly was Thomas Glendinning with the tackle. But a bright start from Heriot as they seek a score that could well bring them level.
Yeah, Dan King and Ben Evans, we mentioned the under-20s, Six Nations playing for Scotland, and they're linking up superbly down that right flank, but just a wee knock on there at the end.
Heriot's then with a bright start in this pleasant spring early evening at Millbrae. Healthy crowd watching the action unfold. Plus, we'll bring you a reminder of the scorelines. This is the final instalment this weekend in the latest round of sprint fixtures in the FOSROC Sprint competition, and the penalty at the scrum going the way of the Ayrshire Bulls, and a chance for Climo and Co to clear from inside their own 22. Early stages of the second half, no change since half time, 21-14 to the home side.
Yeah, just Joe Scott there, I think, number 17 at the loose head, just being penalised there.
If I wasn't wearing a pair of headphones, I might have attempted to actually try and catch that ball there, but I'm literally connected to a box that's very expensive. So had it turned into some sort of goalkeeper or Superman there, it could have been very costly.
Absolutely. Plus the sun.
Plus the sun, yes. Little chip kick there from scrum half and taken on there by Grant Baird, who did well as the left winger there, Thomas Glendinning, was trying to latch onto the ball, but it's back in Heriot's hands now, and Aidan Boyle with the angled run across on that left hand side. There is Mikey Gray, tries to stop and check and continue inside the the Ayrshire Bulls half of the field as Heriot's have possession of the ball just now, but not the tidiest of passes there, picked up there by Dan King, and again trying to bring Charlie Jupp into play. Jupp was immediately crowded out there, but it's pinged forward, right footed downfield there by Cam Jones, bounces a couple of times, and Ellie Cavan now will play it at a flat kick downfield, but a decent angle, palm backwards there by Bruce Houston, who's got time now to pick up and float the ball back then towards Dan King. King pings it cross field, bounces 2-3 times, and then is picked up across on the right hand side by Luca Bardelli, one of the try scorers, looking down to see when Enrique Pieretto will perhaps make an appearance, because the Argentinian contingent in the ground supporting the prop forward will be delighted to see his return after a lengthy spell, combination of injuries, high up and under there, palm backwards. Cavan was up in support, the fullback taken on inside Heriot's territory, mopped up there by Baird. Crash ball played by Bulls. Baird has it again on towards Climo. You can see that in fact Enrico Pieretto is on the park, and Climo, yeah, there is number 18 in a picture, so confirmation that he, now in possession of the ball, has come on at the start of this second half. So a change in the front row, and he'll be delighted, and I'm sure so will Franco Smith, to see him back playing after that lengthy spell in the side on the sidelines. As it's Baird now on then towards McPherson on the angle, stops, checks a bit lateral, and he's crashed into touch there, and had quite a few talking points in the last couple of minutes there, but none more so than the return of Pieretto.
Yeah, absolutely. 29 caps for Argentina, and has been out since last July. 2 injuries, 2 separate injuries. One for the shoulder sustained in the match, and another was sustained in training on his chest. So that's a couple of good runs there, good carries, and he'd be delighted to be on the pitch.
And of course as well, such a competitive Glasgow Warriors squad at the moment, as they're just a few days away from their first European final in Dublin against Toulon on Friday night. And from that line-out ball, Ayrshire Bulls now have found themselves an attacking platform with McPherson into the 22, Baird in behind, on then towards Climo, out this time towards Yule, stopped and checked and then tried to straighten up into the 22, reinforcements coming in, and Bulls again have won the penalty on the edge of the 22, seizing every opportunity to try and pin this Heriot side back. And you wonder that the contrast in half-time team talks, because it seemed to be plain sailing early on for Ayrshire Bulls. It was anything but the half-time.
Yeah, very much so. Just I think it was very much a case of Heriot's coming back into it, and I just noticed there Aidan Boyle did a really crucial tackle there, just the last passes of play on Luca Bardelli, so they come wise to his cutting back in field, and that's making it harder for the Bulls, but a chance here.
Ali Miller also on for Ayrshire Bulls, and there's going to be a further change soon. Cessford will be replaced, and of course the full Heriot's replacements: Linus, Scott, McLaren, Cobbett, Anderson, McCraw, Jones and Wells. Sorry, McCarrett will be McCarrett, Ross Jones and Lewis Wells. So, and then for Ayrshire Bulls, gathered again by McPherson. Plenty of height on McPherson there as he was well up in the air, and the referee watching on now towards the corner, getting very much across towards that far touchline there, and the flag raised by the assistant Kieran Stark across on that far side. So Heriot's using the touchline there as an extra defensive form of cover.
Yeah, the maul there just going outfield rather than infield, so good Heriot's defence. Nice shift there by the Bulls, from McPherson to Jackson. Jackson was the one that took it in the end.
Heriot's this time with the throw in, and it's their number 8, Rory Leishman, that wins the ball in the line out this time. Bulls then are just trying to secure possession of the ball, as Ali Miller warned for no hands there, as pinged left-footed downfield, gathered right on the touchline by Bardelli, played infield through the hands of Cavan. 13 is Shedden, already a try on the board. Excellent piece of defensive cover there by Boyle, getting the hands round the ankles just to slow him up, because Shedden was going at some pace there. They regroup and reorganise, and taken on this time by Pieretto, and he'll want to get in as much action as he can, get involved in the contest, as Miller likewise trying to become a more central figure in this Ayrshire Bulls attack. Taken on this time by Grant Stewart, up towards the edge of the 22. Meanwhile, just out of your picture, there's a Heriot's player down inside the 22, having sustained an injury to, I think, the left leg there, and he's down at the moment as little chip and chase. And watching on, Ronan Sadak, dangerous play there from Heriot's, as Heriot's down a man, as I say, defensively just now. Climo has it, he'll be aware of what's in front. Long look pass out there towards Cavan. Cavan then straightens up, accelerating away, needs the offload, finds a man across on the far side, and Bulls are in for a try out on that right hand side as the injured player Ewan McVie gets back to his feet. Heriots were stretched across from literally a centre field all the way over to that left hand side, and Bulls there. That was really made by the acceleration of Cavan.
Yeah, well, Bardelli as well created the interest midfield, and it was Climo who knew there was space out wide, and then just superb acceleration there by Cavan, and a great finish there by Jackson.
Yeah, Rory Jackson taking the pass very well, it has to be said, from Cavan as well. He still had work to do after the full-back had delivered the pass, and he composed himself to finish things off.
Yeah, good acceleration by himself.
Just opening up more of a lead then for the Ayrshire Bulls. That's the try bonus. 26 points to 14 with the conversion to come out wide on this right hand side. Ellie Cavan, this perhaps the trickiest of all, but he's landed some excellent kicks so far from the tee. Let's see how he does this time. Spinning round just across the face of that left hand post as he was looking at them, and an unconverted try there. 26 points to 14. So further changes. I think Cammy Fenton and Ewan McVie, who was down receiving treatment, I think they'll both be making way imminently as changes aplenty coming in. You can see that Callum Anderson wearing the blue scrum cap is on, and Michael Linus will be on the park as well, as it's now played forward, and Heriot's then with fresh legs on in the form of Linus and Callum Anderson. As we see now, the Ayrshire Bulls, a replacement for them as well at scrum half. Padded back, Glendinning doing well initially to get hands on the ball, but taken on this time by Ewan McFarlane. Picked up there by that scrum half, aware of the advantage, pinged just over the top, and the chase was on there by Ali Miller. He's able to gather inside his own 22, looking to recycle again. As the turnover ball for the Ayrshire Bulls provides them with this platform now to use their scrum half. Ben Ayrshire into, as we watch, the sun, and it's played just down a few metres beyond where he kicked the ball into touch, and Heriots will have an attacking throw and a first opportunity for Michael Linus to throw into this Heriots line. So again, the pendulum of the game begins to swing back in the Bulls' favour at 26-14.
Yeah, crucial line out here for Heriots.
Over he comes, Josh Scott with the instructions there for Linus, and we'll see how they position themselves in the line. Little movement back and forward, aimed there very much. Charlie Jupp does well in the line, tries to strip and rip it down towards McFarlane inside that 22, making some good ground there. Scrum half now is able to go in and recycle ball, and that's taken on well by Anderson just on the park as well. He'll be a determined figure. That's a misplaced pass though, and taken on by Glendinning inside that 22, knocked forward. First it was the Ayrshire Bulls to knock forward, so they're unable to get to a clean exit from inside their own 22, and these are important moments for Heriots. 12 minutes of the second half gone, having conceded first since the interval.
Yeah, they wasn't a clean line out, but they managed to regather there. But Bulls there, just Glendinning, just not quite getting away. Thought he was going to do a great tackle there on Glendinning.
So some fresh legs on Michael Linus, Callum Anderson. We've talked as well about Enrico Pieretto and Ben Ashford and also Ali Miller. So the replacements coming at more regular intervals now, not surprisingly, given we're 52 minutes into the game. And the benches are going to be important, Heather, in a game of this nature, and not a great deal to choose between the sides, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in any game now, and especially at this level, it's very much strength and depth, and both sides have that.
Well, one man looking to continue to orchestrate things, Cam Jones, with the pass in field, and play rages on inside that 22. Jones watching forward now as Heriots are camped 5 metres now from that line, taken on again by Charlie Jupp in that distinctive scrum half. Picked up once more by the number 9 Cam Jones, and Jones again closed off as the referee has a long hard look there, whistle to mouth, raises the arm, penalising Heriots. And Ayrshire Bulls felt that there was an opportunity for them to close out that Heriots attack, which they've done so. Awarded the penalty very much on their own 5 metre line, close towards their own try line, and doing enough to close the door on the Golden Acre side on this occasion. 26-14, 13 minutes of the second half gone.
Yeah, that's an important turn off for the Bulls. Heriots there just with some great courage. Up, as you mentioned, it is really looking lively in attack, and but just number 6 getting done for holding on.
But these games as well coming at regular intervals over a short period of time, and then a slightly lengthier tournament coming the other side of the summer months. all these players, given the size of the squad, need to take every opportunity they can to maximise these chances and the opportunity to show not only the coaches here but other coaches around the country what they're capable of.
Oh, hugely. I mean, it's a fantastic shot window. I was speaking to Grant Hughes before the match, and he's been playing down south at Chinner, and here's an opportunity today. And for instance, Ali Miller, Ben Asher and Amigo Bogadrau, if he gets on today, are all making their first appearances for Ayrshire Bulls, and Josh Wells, if he comes on, will be Lewis Wells, will be making his first appearance for Heriot.
On then towards Cavan, that's taken nicely with the chip kick ahead, gathered by the Ayrshire Bulls fullback and mopped up there by Ayrshire. Ayrshire over the ball at the moment, has a glance towards the right hand side 2-3 times, will reach in with the studs of the boot and delivers the box kick. Jupp was coming through to try and charge it down. Plenty of Heriot's cover back. Houston on towards King. King pins it down. Ashford leaves it there for Ellie Cavan. Cavan then given some time to run into space up towards that 10-metre line, was perhaps lining up the chip kick ahead, but continued the run on in towards Ed Bloodworth. Again, someone that knows about Championship rugby in England, but has settled the last couple of years in Scotland with the Bulls, as Climo plays a flatter left-footed kick. It's gathered on the edge of the touchline there by Mikey Gray. Ping forward back into Ayrshire Bulls territory. Back with Climo. Crossfield. Back goes Ben Evans. Bounces kindly for the right winger and floats the pass on to Dan King. Down the heart of the pitch. On this time goes Luca Bardelli. Grubber from Bardelli. Taken on there as well. Was he perhaps tripped on the way through there? Well, he stayed upright, but it's gathered again by Heriots, who beyond the edge of the 22. The number 8 Leishman involved in the latest attack. Leishman getting back to his feet. Attack they're having to build from a deeper line position. Now you can see there in the picture between the 10 and 22. 26 points to 14. Was 21-14 to the Bulls at half time. And it's back now with Climo. Now the left-footed kick, spin and height on that one. 2 or 3 Ayrshire Bulls players do give some chase. Climo being the furthest forward, but ping back inside the 22. A little bit of ping pong kicking from hand here. And again, this kick is coming pretty much close to our nearest cameraman, drifting just past the camera on left hand side. Heather's going to work as an extra support, gathering the ball and playing it back down pitch side there. And well done, Heather, there, multitasking, helping those around the pitch, gathering the loose balls there.
Fielding those high balls, yeah, we're just in that pole position.
It's just drifting very close towards our cameraman, just our left hand side there. But you could see that he was able to wipe the sweat from his brow, no damage done.
He's looking relieved, yeah.
Down below us then is Michael Linus, and he readies himself as there's been further changes. I can see heading off the field just now is Bruce Houston, and also a couple of changes in the front row for Ayrshire Bulls as well, with Nimmo and Stuart making way. Replacement at scrum half as well with Ewan Makara on, and Makara involved in the action almost immediately as it's taken on this time by Leishman, the number 8. Makara gets himself involved again, pointing the way forward for a Heriot side, looking once more to get some points on the board to close the gap. Taken on this time by the experience of Seda in this competition. And he's played, as we've mentioned a few times, 40 matches, so he knows all about what the FOSROC competition has to offer. Continued forward. Again, Cara is able to pick up that loose ball. Shows some urgency. Played forward there by Ross Jones. Jones will be on for Bruce Houston. Ping forward. Ayrshire Bulls then trying to again bring Thomas Glendenning through his defensive cover to mop the ball up. But he was at least able to interrupt the flow of that Heriot's play. But double infringing there. The offside decision after the knock-on was also signalled by the referee. Played forward then, crossfield kick gathered immediately by Ben Evans. Evans is tackled. It's a sort of three-pronged tackle there as the cover comes in. McCara again, very quick ball taken on this time to Ewan McFarlane, and McFarlane, the power there, the intricacy of the crossfield kick initially, and Ben Evans positioned himself well out wide to continue the ball forward. Then it was about the support initially on to McCara before providing the pass to ultimately score the try.
Look at the pace there and the power. Superb finish by Ewan McLaren. He was in Team of the Week in round 4, and that is just a superb finish. Real acceleration there.
So Aidan Boyle, Cam Jones, and now McLaren on the score sheet, and Ewan McLaren on for a short period of time, making his presence felt with a third try in the game for Heriot, and an opportunity for Ross Jones recently on in place of Bruce Houston to try and add the extras. 26-19. This would make it a 5-point game if successful. Ayrshire Bulls having missed the conversion from their fourth try, the bonus point. That's just going to sneak in past that left hand post, so we once again have a real game on our hands on the hour mark. 26-21, 7 tries in all, and it certainly lived up to its pre-match billing.
Very much so. Ross Jones there already got 10 conversions, just adding to it. Really nice kick.
Yeah, and there again, example of the pass from someone who's on. Ewan McCara got himself involved 2, 3, 4 times since coming on the pass on the park, with some excellent positional play and a good pass out there towards the powerful Ewan McLaren in for the score. So as it's now Heriot's in possession through Callum Anderson, another second half replacement. Blair Jardine is one of the front row replacements, incidentally, for the Ayrshire Bulls, made very recently. He's a part of this defensive line of cover. Tim Brown also on the park, you can see, wearing number 20, as it's pinged forward this time by Ewan McCara and watched all the way towards the touchline there by Ellie Cavan, and that pinged straight out, so back it will come towards the edge of the 26 points to 21. And if the hour is anything to go by, it's going to be a fascinating final 20 minutes.
Absolutely, yeah. Just great to see some fantastic rugby. Heriot will just be ruining that, just to give Ayrshire Bulls some field position.
Throw in then for the Bulls, taken in the air by Ali Miller, and Miller getting used to his new surroundings then as a Ayrshire Bulls FOSROC player. McPherson going in, wily character, looking to work it down that right hand side. Many fond memories of successes here at Millbury over the years, and he knows that him and his side are very much in a contest at this moment in time, with 18 minutes of the match left to play, and Heriot's in front by 5 points. Just a reminder of the scorers: Climo, Bardelli, Shedden and Jackson for Ayrshire Bulls, Boyle, Jones and McLaren for Heriot.
Yeah, it's a play-off in 2 weeks' time for the finals. 1v2, 3v4, 5v6, so that's the spots they're aiming for.
Yeah, of course, that coming up in a fortnight, wrapping up the tournament by the end of May. And not just bragging rights, of course, Watsonians coming through, having an excellent spring last year, and then toppling Ayrshire Bulls in a wonderful final as well towards the end of the autumn last year. And Ayrshire Bulls defeating the Southern Knights in the inaugural final after the first year was, of course, cut short because of COVID. So they know all about getting through to the final of the main competition, and whichever team does ultimately win this, it sets them up very nicely for the remainder of the year.
Yeah, very much so. Round 6 next week. It's a tasty set of fixtures as well.
Yeah, no, it's a big few weeks coming up. Big few weeks in the club game across the board, with of course Glasgow Warriors involved on Friday night, and of course the Inter-District Championship involved in a week's time. I think the South are playing Glasgow and Caledonian in Glasgow. This penalty had been awarded to Ayrshire Bulls, and Heriot's just beginning to creak a little bit defensively, perhaps.
Yeah, just Ayrshire Bulls staying strong in the scrum there and getting the penalty.
Yeah, Braidholme, I think, is the venue for that South Glasgow Cali game a week today.
Injury and substitution, Air 12.
So Ayrshire Bulls, you'll hear, make way. Kerr Yule. Now Yule's he's not been on the score sheet, but he's certainly been willing to get involved and be a player, more than a bit part player in creating some of these tries.
Yeah, a real athlete, and just at 17, it will be 18 till July. Bobby Beattie can also play 12 but out injured, so that's two superb athletes at that position.
And Chris Elliott also on, wearing 23, and watching on now as the forwards Rory Jackson takes it up. Jackson scoring that all-important bonus point try for the Bulls, who are in possession inside the Heriots. 22, and then Sadak penalised for going in off his feet there, not supporting his own body weight. Recycled ball again by the replacement scrum half Sharp as well, just on the edge of that 5 metre line. Ayrshire Bulls sensing perhaps that if they were to orchestrate a score now, it might just prove too much for Heriots to come back from, but there's an example of determined defence.
Your knee was on the ground, you then have to release the ball, okay? He has to release the ball, okay? That's the way I've seen it now. You fought to get your knee down, you then have to release the ball.
Heather, you're nodding away there in agreement with David Sutherland's interpretation.
Yeah, he was just saying there that once your knee's on the ground, Blair McPherson just has to release the ball. So as he saw it, that he did not do that, and that's why there was a penalty.
Allow you to fight to get to the ground and then get back up again.
Flag is raised just on the edge of the 22. And Ross Maven readies himself for this line out.
It's very technical, but I can't give you the benefit of the doubt that way.
Blair McPherson just clarifying that, are they not meant to? Yeah,
That's the way I've read it.
it's a difficult position for him. Next job.
And the next job is dealing with this Heriots line out here, and it's a Michael Linus throwing ball just behind the head, readies himself. That's a good win in the line as well by Ian Wilson, the skipper. On now through the hands of the midfield, linking up well. Hughes on towards Boyle, out towards that left hand side, up towards that halfway line, stripped up by Cavan. Cavan then, is he going to kick ahead? Is he going to continue the forward running up towards the edge of the 22? Was almost in two minds there, going tumbling but back to his feet very quickly. Callum Anderson, and it's recycled again, and suddenly Ayrshire Bulls up towards the edge of the 22, ripped and stolen, but it's back as Ayrshire Bulls were quick onto that loose ball. And the referee will bring play back closer towards the edge of the 22. Heriots having infringed with the knock on, and as this game creeps ever closer towards the 80-minute mark, Heriots chasing just 5 points down. They'll become increasingly desperate, I suppose, to throw the kitchen sink at the Bulls, but there's a danger in doing that, one further score for the Bulls and that could well be curtains.
Yeah, they are just Heriot's just showing the Ewan McFarlane just come on at number 18, scored that try, and absolutely, just really stepping up out the defensive line. Excellent tackle, but just deemed a knock on.
So last step for stability. Last one for me. The tight head's feet went underneath him. Yeah, water off, please. You there? Right, height stability.
One thing about David Sutherland, very clear in his instructions and interpretation and his communication with both sets of players.
Very much so, and he emphasised that in the first half as well, about stability in the scrum. Replacements are on, and he's just re-emphasising that.
A game with very few significant stoppages, and we've reached the 67-minute mark. It has flown by, and it's been aided by some excellent play, has to be said. And both these sides sitting initially third and fourth in the table have served up an excellent game.
Yeah, very much so. I'm sure everyone that's come down today and the kids playing in the background there, they'd much rather be playing, and it's great. Just their role models are playing on the pitch and they're trying to emulate them. Fantastic.
Yeah, all about inspiring the next generation. So Ayrshire Bulls, of course, have the 4 tries, have the 4 try bonus, and look to feed the ball into this scrum here from Ben Ayrshire then on towards Chris Elliott, taken on and eventually stripped there. Shedden couldn't quite secure possession of the ball there. A couple of fends off as Heriots were looking to try and make some inroads down that right hand side. Cavan was again just trying to escape the attentions there of Lewis Wells, but Wells doing very well, determined in possession of the ball, and Cavan had to turn attack into defence as he closed down Heriot's replacement on that right hand side.
Yeah, Lewis Wells there, hugely determined from Edinburgh Accies, making his debut today, so yeah, wanting to make his mark.
26-21 the scoreline, and the referee presiding over this latest scrummage. Heriots with the put in on the edge of the 22.
Speed up, lads, speed up. Let's go. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Into the scrum. Round they go. And once again, Makara out towards the left hand side. Played forward there. Grubber from Grant Hughes makes some ground. Cavan's going to be under a little bit of pressure, but he's able to stop and check. Then he eventually runs into Aidan Boyle. Boyle then with the tackle on the Heriots inside centre. And once more, the Ayrshire Bulls in possession of the ball. And again, just taking his time, Ben Ayrshire will look to deliver this box kick, as you see, between the 10 and 22. Once more, Charlie Jupp coming through there. It only just takes one opportunity for a lock forward to get hands on the ball to cause absolute panic in an opposition defence when the box kick doesn't quite come off. But it's back now with Anderson. Anderson then plants the ball back, and Ayrshire Bulls managed to steal it though, as Bulls with the turnover ball before Heriots could really do anything with it there. Climo just collides with one of the Heriots players again. Jupp gets back to his feet. It's now back with Dan King. Central, downfield. Heriots, 3 players just outside their own, Ayrshire Bulls just 3 players outside their own 22. One of them is Ayrshire, and once again it's a high-footed chip and chase there, and referee signalling the ball has gone straight out, so the assistant will march back with the referee, and Heriots will have the throw in just close towards that 10 metre line. No attempts on a 50-22 that I can recall this afternoon, but it's one of those games where there's been 1 or 2 occasions it has perhaps opened up, but nobody's been able to perhaps just deliver that little aspect into play.
Yeah, both just feeling each out there, but last 9 minutes or so, 26-21, and you can feel both sides really wanting to push for that try.
Yeah, you feel the next score, we often say this in games, whether it be football or rugby, is going to be so crucial. As Heriots again played on there nicely. Aidan Boyle is able to gather, get a bit closer towards the 22, picked up there by the outside centre Hughes. Battering ram play now by the Heriots players as they take it in turns to try and knock Ayrshire Bulls back and knock them off their perch just at the moment, but Ayrshire Bulls equal to it, coming flying through there. Hooker Blair Jardine, and Jardine sending Heriots players tumbling. It's now with Ross Jones. Jones stocks, checks into the tackle. Blair McPherson gets back to his feet, mindful that we've only 10 or so minutes of the match left to play, just under in fact, as Heriots go chasing another try which would land them a 4 try bonus point. Heriots with 3 on the board at the moment, Ayrshire Bulls with 4, so they've got that extra point, and it's still played in and around the edge and the fringes of that 22. Penalty advantage coming the way of Heriots as Blair Jardine has been penalised for not rolling away. Heriots still have possession. Frantic stuff from the Golden Acre side as they look once more towards the replacement scrum half, Makara then with the pass, eventually working its way towards King. King goes up towards the 22, taken on this time Jones. Tried to work his way through inside that 22, stopped just short. Tight defence from Ayrshire Bulls. Referee, having played a period of advantage, will come back for the infringement just the other side of the 22, and this intriguing closing few 7-8 minutes continues with Heriot's in possession, looking for a fourth try that would turn the tables.
Yeah, very much. It's turning the tables from the beginning of the first half. Heriot's very much in possession and really pushing some hard carries, really forcing the Bulls to make some good tackles.
Now, one of the hardest decisions you'll have to make during the course of today, I'm sure, is a player of the match, and we're getting ever closer to that stage in the afternoon. So Heather will be deliberating over the possible players that will be in contention as we watch on here in Heriot's. The instructions coming the way now of Michael Linus. Attacking platform. What an opportunity here for the visiting side to perhaps orchestrate a way to take the lead. Leishman on then towards again Linus. The drive is good. The drive is up towards the try line, and the referee raises the arm, and Heriots have found a way to breach the Ayrshire Bulls line for a fourth time, and in this second half, and for the first time in this match with 5.5 minutes left to play. Let's watch this again. A Heriot's drive straight out of the book of how Ayrshire Bulls would attack from a situation such as this, and it's Heriots who are on level terms, and this conversion has an awful lot riding on it.
Yes, superb finish. The Bulls knew about the weapon that was the Heriot's maul, and it's proved right now.
Watch this conversion attempt. 5 minutes of the game to go, and our clock on the screen. Nobody dare leave Millbrae at the moment. Wherever you're watching our coverage this afternoon, we're as always delighted to have you with us. One or two spectators perhaps just shielding their eyes as they'll watch this ball in flight. This then to give Heriots a lead, and the assistants' flags remain down. Of course, you think back to a 33-all draw with Watsonians just a few weeks ago. Heriots have been involved in one really intriguing match which ended all square, but Heather, again an illustration there of Heriot's maul power, which you touched on during the course of the afternoon already, of course.
Yeah, very much so. All to play for, 26 all.
Is there to be a winner? Who would your money be on? As Heriots ping it forward. Climo is underneath it. Climo then takes his time, measures the kick, plenty of height on the ball, gives chase. Taken underneath it there, collision with Ross Jones. Heriots look to ping it forward again, and given chase is Ian Wilson, the skipper, up towards the edge of the 22, picked up by Glendinning. More riding on it now with this match all square. What would the odds have been after 15 minutes with Ayrshire Bulls leading by 21 points to 0? But this contest was always going to offer plenty, and it certainly has delivered again, with us now 3.5 minutes of the game left to play, going by our clock. And once more, Ben Ayrshire looking to deliver this kick. Box kick. Anderson trying to come through to charge it down. Underneath it again, Thomas Glendinning. Referee signalling the Ayrshire Bulls knock on. There was a double knock on, but Bulls first to infringe. Tense finish, Heather.
Absolutely. Really good fight back here by Heriot. Absolutely excellent play. Ewan McFarlane leading the charge there at tight head, and Charlie Jupp at 6 putting in a real shift.
Watching on as the referee organises this scrum. Free kick awarded to Ayrshire Bulls at the scrum. Very eager to get on with it. There is the scrum half, Ben Ayrshire. And again, he gives the ball to Fraser Climo. Climo's going to ping this forward. The referee eager to get on with it. He's wanted a relatively high tempo to be played during the course of the game. So much so that the 78 minutes more or less has flown by. We'll get Heather's thoughts and player of the match in just a moment, as once more Heriots through Josh Scott look to try and gain some ground. 15 metres in from touch on that Heriot's right hand side. McCara again, looking for the measured pass and taken into contact here by Callum Anderson. The squads have been so important this afternoon. Fraser Plumo does well with the left hand to gather that kick that was played at pace. Plenty of height on the ball there as that's allowed to bounce. Scampering after that is Ross Jones. Jones then on towards Dan King. King, spinning ball, that just lands well a little bit more in the bounce, and it would have been alongside us again on our platform. And Heather, your thoughts as we're closing in on the final minute of the game?
There's been so many good performances. So many good performances, but I'm going to do one for the unseen today. Number 5 for Ayrshire Bulls, Rory Jackson, for his work in the line out and just general all-round play. For fantastic, still there, 80-minute mark, excellent play. Well done, Rory. Yeah,
Rory Jackson locked forward, of course, a try scorer as well. Landed that 4th try bonus point, latching on to an excellent pass from the scrum half, delivery from the half back, and I think a worthy recipient of the Player of the Match award, and one of the last players back to his feet there as Bulls go in search of a winner.
Yeah, he did absolutely excellent on the try, but it's just for his more, the work rate around the pitch.
The full offering across the near 80 minutes. This is we'll watch on here. Final seconds of the match. Last fling for either side. Heriot will have the put in. Could well be that it'll be their second drawn game in the matter of just a few weeks. 33 all against Watsonians. 28-18 winners over Boroughmuir Bears. Of course, comfortable winners in the end. 36-22 over Southern Knights after losing to Edinburgh that first weekend. Played all the way out towards that left hand side. Closing down very quickly, Luca Bardelli, one of the Ayrshire Bulls try scorers this afternoon. Heriot's trying to build from deep once more. Ian Wilson, their skipper, away from the 22, through the hands. Credit to this Heriot side for the strength they've shown, having really been up against it in the early stages, and going to say that doing well up towards the edge of the 10 metre line. That bounces forward, and again on the left was Wilson, bounced up almost off the chin there, as Bulls though scrapping away and right in the middle of it, and Ayrshire just trying to win back possession, but it's back on that Heriot side, and they carry the 10 metre line up towards halfway. Well, other clock says we've played the 80 minutes, so the referee will be glancing ever more frequently at the wristwatch just to tell us, but it's a steal, a pick up and go here for Ayrshire Bulls and Jamie Shedden. And Shedden, who's already scored a try, sensed an opportunity for a sensational finish on in towards Blair McPherson, quickly through the hands there. Chris Elliott just could not get that pass away. Ayrshire Bulls though scrambling for everything as Heriot's knocked the ball on, and there were hearts and mouths for a moment there, because Shedden was away, and was there an opportunity for him perhaps to finish this off? He was half through, and mighty me, that would have created quite a sensation had he finished it off.
Yeah, tall centre, obviously just something a bit different there, but yeah, just Chris Elliott just couldn't quite get the pass away. But you can see everyone's just out in their
they're exhausted. They're exhausted, but worth also pointing out that the player of the match was very well received there inside Millbrae. Warm applause as it was announced just a few seconds ago that Rory Jackson will be player of the match.
How long, sorry? Oh no, sorry. Still got 1 minute.
Just a 1 minute left there, and apologies if you picked up any unsavoury language just on one of our pitchside microphones there. Temper's maybe a little frayed at the moment in the closing stages, but apologies for that. So 1 minute of the game left to say, or inside the final minute.
25 seconds.
There you go, 25 seconds. How precise is that? The players will need that information right now, Heather. You've been there, you know the importance of it.
Yeah, but it's just because it was Heriot's at the ascendancy, and it was just interesting to see Bulls are still pushing for that try, which is great to see as well. Both sides just pushing it to the max.
This set play could well be the last set piece. And then Ayrshire Bulls with this attacking scrum. Ayrshire looking to feed the ball in. He will tap, feeds in. McPherson tries to remain solid. Ayrshire with outstretched left arm. And just to add to the tension, I mean, how often have we seen over the years an Ayrshire Bulls side, you know, be up against it in the closing stages and find a way to get a last minute winner at Millbrae in a titanic tussle over the years. It's happened before, a game that's seesawed in this fashion. They've been able to orchestrate a win very late in the day. Can they do the same again?
Yeah, we know that Climo, they won the part of the Ayr team that won the first ever Premiership, so very much knows that too. But Ian Wilson, not unknown to doing well as well. So last bit.
Yeah, these sides, as we mentioned, plenty of honours and accolades between them. Ayrshire then is able to pick up, scampers away on then towards Chris Elliott, across on that far side, picked up there by Ellie Caven, tumbles to the ground inside the 22. Recycled ball then, Ayrshire Bulls, this surely their last opportunity to try and work something. Ayrshire again, on towards the Argentine. Pieretto has worked hard since coming off the bench. It's been an important outing for him. 40 plus minutes he's played in this game. Will do his return from a long term injury, no harm at all. As it's recycled again, Climo out towards the right hand side. Chris Elliott tries to work his way around. Referee spots the knock on, and he will signal and blow for full time. And there ends a final 26 all, the end result. But you have to say it's been a final few minutes of hear him scare him stuff, but an excellent 80 minutes all round, and all credit to both sets of players, the full 23 really playing their part. And Heather, the FOSROC Sprint Series, with just 2 weekends left to play, is set up very nicely indeed. But more action like this, and it's only going to encourage more and more people to come and watch it.
Absolutely, it was just a wonderful advert for the semi-pro game, and all players concerned, all backroom staff, all coaching staff, really, really pleased with their afternoon's endeavours.
Yeah, and perfect symmetry, 4 tries apiece, 26 points all, just the one missed conversion. So kicking from the tee was excellent as well, because a few of them were out on the touchline. Ellie Caven delivering a couple of really excellent kicks, particularly in the first half, and played under pretty clear blue skies with a little bit of wispy cloud around, but excellent conditions all round. And these players are certainly deserving of a pleasant Saturday night to reflect on a very hard-earned 80 minutes in all, and hard-earned 2 points.
Very much so.
Yeah, they'll get the point for the draw, and of course the point for the bonus. Yeah,
last championships it was an averaging of 7 tries a game, so treated to eight this game. Absolutely fantastic. 8 in all. And just a reminder, Climo, Bardelli, Shedden and Jackson all for Ayrshire Bulls. Boyle, Jones, McFarlane, a really sort of Heriot combination try, securing that bonus point. Let's have a look at the scores then in the second half. So this was fairly early on in the second period, 21-14 at half time. Piece of running here from Ellie Caven, player of the match, finishing off there. Rory Jackson able to gather and play the ball over the line for the 5 points. Yeah, it was just a great take, and we just know about Caven's pace. And superb support line by Jackson, player of the match there, and there's a bit of work to do. Dan King was covering but managed to finish off.
So worked again through the hands of the scrum half, as we see Heriot's then at this stage needing to respond pretty quickly. Aidan Boyle and Cameron Jones scoring tries in the first half. Ewan McFarlane showing his power from close range. McFarlane, one of the replacements, wearing the 18 jersey, and really up against it there, but playing some crash ball. Blair Jardine unable to stop him.
Yeah, it wasn't a straight line, it was just slightly angled line, just powered his way through.
Yeah, and there the reinforcements coming in. This straight off the training ground. Power involved here at the mall, so important.
Yeah, brilliant team try, and I think it was Ian Wilson that was on the end of that. Superb finish.
Yeah, we'll get to see this again, as coming in was Michael Linus. Now Wilson is right in the thick of it there. He pulls off. Yeah, down he goes. So captain playing his part.
Yeah, great awareness.
So have a look at the league table now. So Heriots will then move on to 16 points, second draw for them in the season. Stirling also on 16. Ayrshire Bulls top of the pile, level in points with Watsonians. Boroughmuir Bears, of course, sitting down in second bottom place on 7 points, picking up something. Of course, last night in that Edinburgh Derby, narrow defeat, and of course Southern Knights just with that solitary point to their name. So when you've got two sides level and a couple of sides hot on their heels, it sets things up nicely indeed for the penultimate set of fixtures. Ayrshire Bulls against Watsonians. What a way to start the weekend. Absolutely,
just a fantastic mouth-watering anticipation for this Friday night. So that's 1 against 2 as it stands at the moment. And on Saturday as well, we've got Heriots against Stirling Wolves, who are sitting mid-table. So it's a perfect matchup with Southern Knights and Boroughmuir Bears. So some excellent rugby on show.
Yeah, the Knights and the Bears at Southern Knights will certainly want to finish the regulation set of fixtures with something, with a victory, and they've certainly got a home match against Boroughmuir to look forward to in a week's time. Well, in the sunshine here at Millbrae, we bid you a fond farewell after 8 tries and nothing in the end to separate the sides. From Heather and myself, thank you very much for watching. A reminder of the final score: it finished Ayrshire Bulls 26, Heriot Rugby 26.